Hello, and welcome to The Artist Pivot, a weekly conversation with artists about their current pivot, past pivots, and every pivot in between. I am your host, Ayana Major Bay, an actress who wants to educate, empower, and celebrate artists so they have no option but to thrive. On this episode, I am joined by Progressive Theater founder Gregory Omar Osborne. Progressive Theater is a nonprofit theater company which aims to tell culturally enriched stories that empower the misrepresented and people of color, while captivating all audiences with the focus of being the change we want to see. He recently produced a film adaptation of the Gospel at Colonus, Amidst COVID, with a mission to create more opportunities for actors, filmmakers, photographers, and anyone who falls under the umbrella of artist. We discuss how producing theater for him has been a humbling experience, how he's the ideas guy and is always proud to pivot boldly. And since you, me, we are still alive, so is our part of the industry. Here's our conversation. Well, hello there, Mr. Gregory Omar Osborne. How are you doing today, hon?
I'm doing well, Ayana. How are you?
Good. I'm doing well as well. I can't complain.
Listen, it's such a good day. It might be a little bit cloudy
Mm-hmm.
while we're recording, but we're alive and
Yep.
we're doing what we love.
Yes. Exactly. Yeah. And how has this year been for you? You know, we're almost at its end. How has this year been for you?
This year, starting in January, I gotta say, it's fitting that I'm a part of your podcast right now because it truly has been a year of pivots.
Mm-hmm.
Um, From February, we had our production, Progressive Theater. It's a theater company that I founded in 2018 with Jasmine Richardson.
Mm-hmm.
We we launched our second season with the Scottsboro Boys, and it was so great. Great audience participation, good talk back. It was honestly, like a dream come true to say that you built something and it lasted 2 years. It's a blessing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then COVID happened, and I was like, oh gosh, we're gonna have to cancel the rest of our season. So immediately I just started calling MTI and Samuel French and Concord Theatricals. I'm like, yeah, we want our money back. Thank you so much. We won't be doing that
Mm-hmm.
anymore. Um, and they're like, so soon? I said, well, tomorrow's not promised. And I would rather, just call it not quits, but take a break and focus on other things.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a person that likes to think ahead. So I started thinking ahead, wondering, all right, if this pandemic is to last us 2 more months or 3 more months and whatnot, what would I do?
Mm-hmm.
So I ended up creating Dot Church Productions, which is a management company for people of color, actors of color. Um, and I'm working with a few agents around the West Coast and East Coast, and I'm just helping people get opportunities that you know they can't get during a pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
I feel sorry for the people that don't have representation right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's why I started that, and then after about 6 months in, well, not even six, well, yeah, you can say 6 months. After 6 months in, we decided to film a movie. So I just finished shooting The Gospel at Colonus, an adaptation of the adaptation of Oedipus at Colonus.
Okay.
Yeah, so I just finished that and now I'm recovering.
Right. You're recovering from filming.
Hmm.
Yes. I got it. Wonderful. And so you pivoted from running your theater company into now management and managing artists and
Hmm.
working with artists that way. And so in filming as well, was that part of your theater company or is that another pivot that you had?
Well, you could say that the theater company pivoted
Okay.
because,
Okay.
you know, when you think about how theater arts has changed, everyone's on Zoom,
Mm-hmm.
everybody's is doing a Zoom reading or a Zoom concert. And to be honest, I don't really like them. I don't like the aesthetic.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so having my theater company, I was like, how can I do a film without getting in trouble with the IRS? And did some research, and I found out that all I needed to do was change my activities. So in the
Mm.
next year, well, actually this year, we're going to be changing progressive theater from a performing arts nonprofit to an
Mm-hmm.
arts and culture. So that means we can produce film, we can do live shows, we can do circus if we wanted to, which
Uh-huh.
we won't be doing. But yeah, just opening up the pathways, for success. That's really what it is.
Right. Right. Ooh, I like that. Opening up the pathways for success.
Mhm.
Yes, and giving yourself those options, right?
Yep.
And kind of, in essence, taking your ego out of it and saying, this is a theater company, this is all we're going to do. You, in essence, had to take your ego out of it and go, okay, no, how can I open up for success?
Yeah. Well, I taking the ego out of it is such a hard thing to do, but I was met with the gospel at Colonus because we wanted to do it as a live show, right?
Mm-hmm.
For our season. And like I said, I called all the licensing companies and I was just like, give us back our money. We're not doing this anymore, right?
Mm-hmm.
But with the gospel at Colonist, something happened with the money, and they're like, actually, we can't give it back to you because we paid the authors. So
Mm.
whenever you want to do it, we'll just open up the contract again.
Okay.
And so I started like diving into the script, and the beginning of the script, Reverend Earl Miller actually says, in order to make this work, I'm paraphrasing, in order to make it work, you have to release yourself and let God take control, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that, honestly, that was a word for my life during this pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
I had to release. I literally just had to release all my visions and all my thoughts and go, all right, open up the windows of possibilities. Open up the
Mm-hmm.
door of possibilities and success and see what it is and just pick it.
Right.
It's not your plans anymore, you think forward, you look forward. So yeah, looking forward, created two new businesses basically and rebranded progressive theater.
Mm-hmm. I love it. I love it. And with that, what was the pivot that led you to even creating progressive theater? Let's go back a little bit,
Whew.
like how did progressive theater even come about?
Well, I can't remember what year it was, 2016 maybe.
Mhm.
Jasmine Richardson and I were in this house in Maplewood, New Jersey. She was doing The Bodyguard, and I was preparing to go to theater under the stars in Texas to do what was the show? Nah, I can't remember the show. Into the Woods. Yeah.
Okay.
And I went there. I wasn't excited to go for some reason. Usually I'm the guy that like has his bags packed
Mhm.
a month prior to leaving. But that time around, they literally packed the day before, and
Mm.
I got on the plane, and I was just like, "This is a job." I got to meet Alice Ripley, worked with Bob, Bobby Longbottom, and just an amazing cast. And around that time, my aunt passed away while we
I'm
were
sorry.
celebrating Thanksgiving dinner.
Mhm.
And I just remember like zoning out. I was zoning out the entire time during rehearsals, but I was on my mark, never
Mhm.
stopped a rehearsal for myself. It's just like I wasn't there. And
Mhm.
I ended up being let go. It was it was something that really bruised my ego, you know,
Mm.
because when you get a show in a theater like that, a big regional theater, they post pictures of you on playbill.com and they
Right.
write your name and people are like, oh, he's in that show.
Mhm.
And I remember getting on the plane coming back from Tuts, just like not feeling all right. I felt like there was more that our union could have done. There was more that my agent could have done. There was more that the theater could have done to help me finish that contract.
Mhm.
So I remember just trying to feed my ego, going back to auditions
Mm.
immediately. Yes, I just lost my aunt. I was grieving, I was mourning, and I just pushed myself back into the industry when I honestly needed a break. And I ended up just failing, you know,
Mhm.
making an ass of myself. Sorry for that, for the language, but I really was just a horrible person.
Mhm.
And I ended up losing my agent, then gaining another agent, then
Mhm.
losing that agent.
Oh no.
All because it's like, the whole thing is, as a theater artist, we learn to, if you see an opportunity, go get it, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
But through my eagerness and my me being desperate, that's the word, like I was desperate,
Mhm.
I ended up tarnishing my reputation in a way,
Mm.
right?
Yeah.
So I decided to just take a full out break in 2016. Just was like, I'm not doing this anymore. No more theater. And before I knew it, I was sucked back in, teaching and choreographing for Vanguard Theater Company, which was founded by Daryl Stewart and Janice Freeman Clark,
Mhm.
great artists in Jersey. And so I started teaching and choreographing there. I did um, Memphis and The Music Man. It was pretty cool.
Mhm.
And then from there, I ended up going to NJ Pack and choreographing their TYA tour of Showtime with Shakespeare, which was kind of Hamilton esque hip hop meets Shakespeare.
Mhm.
And I wasn't fulfilled. Like, great opportunity, but I just was like, what am I doing? This is not helping me at all.
Right. Right.
So I went back to the drawing board at my house, sat down in my bed, and I said, you know what, Greg? What is it that you want to do? And I said, I want to create opportunities that I have had. I've been able to tour, I've been able to speak things into existence and just, land into the opportunity. And I wanted to provide some of that for other people.
Mm.
So my first show was in 2018, February 2018, and we did Five Guys Named Mo. Um, Clark Peters reached out to us via the internet and was like, "Hey, great job, guys!" And I was like, "Oh my gosh, he reached out." MTI came to the show. They said that I found the magic in this production. We stripped it
Mhm.
down. We didn't make it a showy show because one of the things with black theater is when black theater is written in the form of a jukebox musical, sometimes people tend to forget that these are stories of people. The songs are written because someone connected to it. Someone had a
Mhm.
story to tell. So we just dived into the back line and the backstories of the songs and brought new life to the show. It was well received. And before I knew it, I did my one man show called Gregory Omar Osborne Don't Quit Your Day Job. uh, and it was me changing I wanted to change that phrase. Don't quit your day job is usually an insult. It's,
Yes.
you say it to a person that isn't good at what they do.
Mhm.
But for me, don't quit your day job was, Greg, don't stop hustling. Don't stop auditioning. You have a dream, go do it. Feed
Mhm.
the industry, add to the industry, become the industry.
Mm.
So I did the show, and I remember at the end I said to everyone, if you have a dream or a passion, go and pursue it because tomorrow isn't promised.
Mm.
And before I knew it, I fast forward a couple months later, and there we have the bubbly black girl sheds her chameleon skin
Mhm.
and launching progressive theater with Jasmine Richardson and having Kirsten Childs come to our show and have a talk back with the audience on racism and feminism and all the isms that there are, and Kerry Washington sending us a handwritten note encouraging progressive theater to keep doing what we're doing because it's important.
Yes.
And yeah, it really was, all those things were, it was confirmation that, I had to pivot.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing the effect that you have on your community, especially if it's a positive one and one
Mm-hmm.
that promotes growth, you just got to let it be and pivot and not worry about backstepping.
Right.
So that's how progressive theater came about. It really was organic, and
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't about myself. A lot of the times you look at the inception of our artistry
Mm-hmm.
being about self. You want to
Yeah.
be a theater artist. Yes, you want to bring happy smiles to people's faces, but really, I'm in theater because I love being on stage, right?
Yes. Yes.
But now it's like, wait, this is not about me. Like, I, it's so not humiliating, but it's so humbling. It's a humbling experience to produce theater. It really
Mm-hmm.
is. You're paying out people and you're not getting paid. Hey, sometimes you're not even thinking about yourself.
Right.
Um, so yeah, it really was abandoning self and creating the opportunities for other people and allowing myself to be a vessel.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That's great. And going back to something you said about how you are the industry and
Mm.
I'm the industry. We are the industry. We are the vessels, and not feeling like, because of COVID that, oh, I left the industry. Oh, there is no more industry. But actually really having the time to sit down and realize, no, wait a minute. I am the industry. You are the industry.
Yep.
We actually haven't left.
Yep. It's like the alternative section in Chorus Line.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Homeboy breaks his leg, and everybody's like, "Oh gosh, what's gonna happen?"
Mm-hmm.
Another girl's like, I'm probably gonna open up a dance school, right? Or
Mm-hmm.
somebody's gonna end up teaching English, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even though they're leaving the stage or the spotlight, think about what you're giving. You can only give what you've had, right?
Mm-hmm.
So no matter where you go, you're elevating the industry.
Mm-hmm.
Dance schools have elevated the industry. If someone doesn't open up a dance school, that means we probably won't have any more dancers to pick from. If
Right.
someone doesn't open up a theater company, that means opportunities for actors to get work will be very slim.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel, yeah, I feel like if we take responsibility for the industry and see that it's not dead because we're still alive, there will be a lot of progress happening.
Right. Right. That was beautifully said. You are right. Since we are alive, the industry is alive.
Yeah.
And in thinking about it that way, it will help us to let go and not fight the change. And we've been in this for a long time now, and
Yeah.
okay, let me see. You're right. I am still alive, so that means the industry is still alive. So that means what I have to give to the industry is still alive,
Yeah.
and figuring out how to put it into the world, whether it is a theater company, whether it is a podcast, whether it is a Zoom reading, whether it is new choreography you want to try out, whatever it is, your part of the industry is still alive.
Yeah. I I've honestly tried everything,
Mhm.
everything.
Mhm.
You can Google and see Gregory Osborne, Tokens and Change was a podcast to highlight, minorities and what they're
Mhm.
doing in the arts. Now, did I finish it? No. I only had like probably, I don't know, I don't even know how many episodes I had. I just was doing the job.
Mhm.
And I think that that's what we need to focus on. Doing the job. It doesn't matter how many episodes you have, Ayana, you've done it and you've
Mhm.
added to the industry. So I Commend you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, thank you. And so, would you say that these pivots have been easy for you? Because I have a little note here that you told me that pivoting in COVID has been as easy as kickball change.
Yes, it has.
And so impart some of your wisdom, because I know that this is easier for some artists and not easy for others. So give me some wisdom of how all of these pivots, even prior to COVID, have been easy for you and have been just a kickball change.
Well, the first thing that I had to do, and I'll say this again, is let go of myself.
Mhm.
Let go of my ego, let go of my narcissism, and put someone else in front of me or something
Mhm.
else in front of me.
Mhm.
I say that it's easy as a kickball change because a lot of my friends would say that I am the ideas guy.
Okay.
You know, um, I can come up with an idea right now if you ask me to.
Right.
Heck, like if we had a caller and they needed help, and they just said something to me about their passion, I would
Mhm.
be able to create a business for them.
Right.
And beyond that, even though I am the ideas guy, I'm the guy that is crazy enough to try it.
Yeah.
I think we all have to find that crazy part of us, or the part of us that abandons self, the part of us that doesn't care what our friends, family, coworkers, or the industry thinks and says, and just go ahead and do it.
Mhm.
There are no rules. Yes, there are rules that people made up. Like I think one of the rules is, yeah, this is a rule. You can't be an actor and a manager at the same time, which I
Right.
think is stupid because before I had an agent and a manager, I was managing myself.
Hello, I was an actor manager, okay?
Exactly. Before the union, I was negotiating my contracts, right?
Exactly. Yes.
Before the union, if they weren't shaping up and giving me what I needed, Gregory Osborne would pivot out the door, literally.
Mhm. Mhm.
And I've had fellow coworkers, colleagues during shows that see me leave shows, pick up my bags and just leave, which is different than being fired, right?
Right.
Just got to say that. But I've literally picked up and left because I felt disrespected or I
Mhm.
felt I deserved better, you
Mhm.
know?
Mhm.
I'm so sorry. I think I I pivoted out of your question. But yeah, let's just keep going with it.
Yes. Yeah.
It's been so easy for me to do. There we are. It's been so easy for me to transition into other things because I don't care.
Mm.
I don't care. What I care about is my mission. Like I hosted a small talk back during quarantine, and I urged artists to have a mission statement.
Mhm.
If you have a clear mission statement, you move with it.
Right.
My mission statement was progressive theater's mission statement before progressive theater came about.
Right.
So with or without the company, I'm still going to be moving in that mission.
Yeah.
So everything that I've done has been to elevate people of color. Everything. You
Mhm.
know,
Mhm.
working on a movie right now, The Gospel at Colonus, you would think that I would go get some kind of like entertainment company that has the big cameras and has, the great lighting and the sound system and all that stuff. No,
Mhm.
there are people that need opportunities. So I
Mhm.
found a young man. His name is Ryan Burgess, and all he has is one camera, a
Mhm.
handheld gimbal, you know, maybe a few little gadgets that's needed for filming, and that's it. It's about thinking about others and thinking about the possibilities and just running with it. um
Mhm.
so I urge everybody listening to this podcast, you got an idea, if you need help, you can actually go to GregoryOmarOsborne.com, click artist support, and I have the artist blueprint, which will help you. I will sit down and chat with you for however long it takes to create a plan and to flesh out your ideas. Because I'm the idea
All
guy.
right. Yes, y'all heard that. He's the idea guy. Contact him and yeah, start to work on your ideas. And Greg, that actually brings up something. I was talking to a friend the other day, and like there are a couple of other things that I am looking forward to trying to do in 2021. And having the hesitation, the what's the word I'm looking for? The imposter syndrome kind of came back in this discussion I was having with her, and she was like, Ayana, first of all, I know you. Secondly, I'm going to need you to start having an attitude with those thoughts. Like
Yeah,
if this negative thought comes into your head, or this, oh, who am I? Why do I think I can do this? Or like, I can do it, but I have no clue what I'm doing, so I'm not going to. She's like, you need to, kind of listen to that thought and go, I'm sorry. Who do you think you're talking to? My
exactly.
name is Ayana Major Bay, and you clearly forgot. Like, have an attitude with your negative thoughts.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
The moment I have a negative thought, I do allow myself to feel it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I do allow myself to feel it, but it doesn't last long, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's like,
Mm-hmm.
all right, how do I get past it?
Right.
You know? And sometimes getting past it is just doing it.
Mm-hmm.
I was reading a book about successful people, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And they were talking about the early bird catches the worm, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And sometimes that early bird may not have been made up or wearing the suit and tie or speaking eloquently and all this stuff, right? But they're successful because they were the first to get there.
Hmm.
You know, they were the first to execute their vision. The crazy
Right.
thing is, and I'm going to be a little bit spiritual right now,
Mm-hmm.
but we're all connected to a higher being. I believe that higher being is God, right?
Right.
And since we're all connected, it makes you think about ideas. If God can give me an idea, and we all know that ideas are not unique, multiple people will have the same idea
Mm-hmm.
because we're all connected. But the first person to execute the idea, right? They're able to say that they created it. They're able to say that they thought of it first. They're able to reap the benefits, you know. They're
Mm-hmm.
they're able to turn their ideas into a multi-million dollar revenue,
Right.
you know. And yeah, I think that we need to be as eager as that early bird.
Yeah.
We just have to.
Have to with all of our ideas and the things we want to do.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And don't worry about perfection.
Ooh, say that again.
I said, don't worry about perfection.
All right, great, because I needed that as well.
You don't worry about it.
Because I am a perfectionist. I'm gonna say I'm a recovering perfectionist.
Yes. Yes.
Because perfection has been the death of a lot of ideas
Hmm.
over the years. I am a recovering
But
perfectionist.
think about all of those ideas that have been put to the grave, you
Mm-hmm.
know? Think about
Mm-hmm.
all of those ideas that you put in the grave because that was you, right?
Yes, yes.
So you put all those ideas in the grave. Somebody else definitely came up with the same idea, dug that out. It was like, oh, here it is.
Mm-hmm.
And you look at that idea and you're like, damn, but they should have done this and they should have done that.
Yes, yes.
But you can't do it. You know, one of
Mm-hmm.
the other pivots that I have is self-tape buddy.
Okay.
So during this pandemic, I thought about, okay, so I already saw in the future, this was like probably the second month of the pandemic, and I said, all right, Actors Access is going to start doing a live audition. That's what
Mm-hmm.
they're going to do next, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I said, people are going to need readers. People are going to
Yeah.
need someone to film their self tapes because they're quarantined.
Mm-hmm.
How are they going to do it? You know?
Right.
Now, have I perfected how we're going to do this online with a person, with a reader? Not necessarily. I have like 10 steps to do it. But you
Mm-hmm.
know what Homeboy did? He went
What
to
you
the
do?
copyright.gov
Mhm.
and I said, self tape buddy, copyright that mess.
Right.
I copyrighted it.
There you
Now, if
go.
there's somebody with a grand idea of how we can do this perfectly, I'll give them self-tape buddy.
Right.
Because once again, my mission is to create the opportunity,
Mm-hmm.
not to own everything, just to create the opportunity. That's about it.
Right.
Yeah. So hopefully your listeners can go back into that graveyard,
Mm-hmm.
shovel up them ideas, and put
Yes.
them to action.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And, that leads me to a question of, so what are you looking forward to? Or maybe I should phrase it this way. What progress are you hoping that you make, that the industry makes, that we all make, now going into 2021, which I can't believe I'm saying that, but like, yes, what progress do you hope that we all make going into 2021?
I want the industry, us,
Mm-hmm.
to realize how much power we have.
Mm.
Like, we don't need, we don't need, oh, they're going to kill me. But you're going to keep this in. I don't care.
Okay.
Um, we don't need a lot of the things that are out there. We don't need the unions. We have mouths. We just have to grow some balls and be like, this is what I want and this is what I deserve. Because that's what the union's doing for us, right?
Mm-hmm.
We I want us to be more vocal. I want us to, with our pivots right now, I want us to stay consistent. My biggest fear of seeing people do work, and I've listened to your podcast, basically almost all the episodes. I have to catch up on one, I think. But I've listened to all your podcast episodes. I've listened to so many others and sat on these different forums, Black Theater Caucus, Black Theater Coalition, all these things.
Mm-hmm.
And I urge people to stay consistent because there is going to be there's going to be a time when things look the way they used to be.
Mm-hmm.
But what I'm afraid of is that all these pivots are going to go to the graveyard
Hmm.
because self is going to come back
Right.
into the picture. Like, it's so easy right now for us to be like, oh, I want to do a podcast. I want to write a comic book. I want to start a company and all this stuff, right? But what happens when the demand comes back for you to be on the Broadway or the big screen? You know,
Yeah.
are you gonna stop what you built for yourself?
Hmm. Hmm. That's a
Keyword,
good
you built
question.
it for yourself.
Right.
You're not working for anybody else. Progressive theater, the day that I have to close down progressive theater will be the day that we probably become a commercial theater company.
Hmm.
Because what I'm doing, yes, I built this, yes, for myself, but I've built this for our community. And one thing that I've said with our industry is that, and I think we spoke about this before, um, our industry wasn't built for Black people and Latinos, Asians. It wasn't built for us. The table is set, but it wasn't set for us in mind.
Mm-hmm.
So I want us, the other part of the the industry, to start taking some responsibility. That's the change I want to see. I don't want to see and hear any more begging to have a seat at the table because it's going to take a while for this whole racial inequality thing to to change. It's going to take a very long time,
Mm-hmm.
if ever. You
Yeah.
know, it's just I want us to be able to take responsibility and take matters into our own hands because we know what's best for us.
Right. Right. That was it. That was beautiful. We know what's best for us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Thank you. Thank you, Greg. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank
Thank you.
you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Sorry, I just like ministered onto myself.
Look, okay, honey, I was sitting here quiet because you were ministering to me.
Woo!
Right? Hey.
I literally was like, wait, hold on. Did I just say that out loud? Yes, I did.
Yes. And I appreciate it, and I hope all of our listeners appreciate it. And yeah, we know what's best for us, and to not let our pivots go when
Yeah.
the industry does come back to what is seemingly normal or what was before. But to how do you hold on to your pivots and hold on to what you created? Even if you do want to get back on stage or get back to filming or whatever it is,
Hmm.
how do you still hold on to yours?
Yeah. Because freaking, what's his name? Schubert's and all
Mhm.
of them, Disney, right?
Mhm.
Doors were open for them, but they still
Yeah.
held on to their own. Definitely.
Mhm. Mhm. Of
That's the reason
course.
why you have their names and know their names. I
Mhm.
want people to know progressive theater. I want people to know Gregory Omar Osborne. I want people to know Ayana Bay and the
Mhm.
Artist Pivot podcast,
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
that to me is gold. That's better than any spotlight
Mhm.
on Broadway or regional theater or non-union theater. Like it's better than that.
Yeah.
Um, but I do want to say something that I've said to you,
Mhm.
to everyone listening. Like I am not shaming those who don't want to pivot. You know,
Right.
I am not shaming those who are quote unquote doing nothing. You know, um, all I can do is urge those who don't want to pivot right now to get involved. You know,
Mhm.
so if you're seeing Ayana, if you're listening to Ayana Bay's podcast, maybe, whoa, I said seeing. Who knows? You might be a
Who
talk show host.
who knows,
Who
right? Listen, put it out there, Greg.
knows? But like, if you're listening to Ayana Bay and you vibe with what she's saying and what she's doing, support, support. Like, there's tons of people that can support you right now.
Mhm.
Money, equipment,
Mhm.
whatever, programming, support. And if you can't support that way, talk about it. Share it with the community. Share it with the industry.
Yes. Yes.
And put her on because, like, there's so many people that are doing the same thing. But really, what we just need someone to highlight us as people of color.
Yes.
That's what you need.
Mhm.
Highlight.
Yes,
So,
highlight.
yeah,
That's
go
what it is.
ahead, cast yourself to the ocean or whatever,
Right?
and go pursue your dreams and pivot boldly and then kickball change out of it.
Okay, come on. Kickball
Pivot, kickball
change.
change, Pablo
Pivot,
Ray,
kickball
please
ha,
pod,
yes.
hashtag.
Yes. Oh,
Shoot.
yes. Yes. I love it. I love it. Oh, but Greg, before I let you go, my dear, I must say something to you. And that is that I acknowledge you, I celebrate you, and I uplift you.
Mm, well received. Well received. And I do the same for you.
Thank you, my dear. Thank you. Gregory, thank you so much for sharing. We sure did just preach to our own selves just now. Letting your ego go and discovering that your mission is to open the pathways of success for others is so inspiring. Also, you are right that no matter what we are doing or where we go, we are elevating the industry. Since we are all still alive, so is our part of the industry. Think about this. Are there any ideas or projects you need to dig up and dust off that will lead you to creating opportunities for others, or just even yourself? Thank you again, Gregory, and thank you for tuning in. I'll speak to you soon.